Okay. Looks like we started live. Okay. Thank you for joining this health education live stream. I'm hoping the lighting is good. We're talking about pain. There's a lot of people who are dealing with pain these days. Um, Pain can come in different forms. There's different reasons why people have pain. Um, First, we'll talk about the different types of pain, and then we'll go into pain cycles. And then after that, excuse me, we'll talk about how to break the the cycles of pain, how to destroy those cycles, um how to get through life when dealing with pain. Okay. So, number 1, I'm going to be on this live for about 30 minutes approximately. Okay, so let's get started. Number 1, different types of pain. So there's emotional pain, and many times emotional pain feeds into physical pain. Uh, then there's the physical pain that we can feel. Sometimes people feel pain from seeing others go through pain. Okay, and so there's that. But mostly, we're going to talk about the two that most people feel: emotional and physical pain. The one that we feel the most. Okay. Then there's pain cycles. So what are pain cycles? Pain cycle, I want you to think of a big circle. Okay. Uh, You have pain. Let's say you've been injured, physically injured, traumatized. And that injury could come in different forms. It could be a car accident. It could be a work injury, something that happened at work. It could be an injury during sports or playing around or working out. It could be from a fall, you name it. Something happened, an event happened, and it caused an injury. But it also could be a different type of injury where it's repetitive use. For instance, one of my cousins, she hurt her shoulder. She had a sprained shoulder from using her hand the same way to put her seatbelt on every time she got in the car. She would grab the seatbelt. I don't know if it was her left or arm, left or right, but she would grab the seatbelt and put it on the exact same way every time she got in the car. And after a while, she ended up getting a strain pattern and pain in her shoulder. And so sometimes we don't even know what we did or how we did it, but we just mindlessly do things without thinking about it. And it's that same repetition. People who work, particularly at Amazon or warehouses or things where they're using their hands the same way, their arms the same way, their bodies the same way over and over and over again, starts to wear on the body and develop a pain cycle. People who drive a lot have to sit a lot. A lot of times pain starts to come in this area and in the low back. So people who type a lot, um, back in the day, the typewriters were hard to use, and people would get carpal tunnel syndrome easily. And now people still get it, but from different using their hands in different ways. So anyway, so these are repetitive injuries, repetitive use injuries. These things. They become extremely painful and very difficult to do life with and to work with. Also, I forget braiding hair people. There are a lot of braiders out there. Again, that's one. Doing hair, just the same thing. You get the idea. Repetitive use. Okay, so you get some kind of injury. It causes the pain. The pain starts to circle in and cause people to get anxious. Why am I having this pain? Well, this is hurting me. What is going on here? The anxiety also circles back around. There's a small circle there and causes more pain. So there's a small circle there. Okay, let's go to sometimes the pain. People do well. They get through the day. They're doing well. No pain. The minute they relax, lay down, that's when the pain comes on like a vengeance. So they're relaxing at night, trying to get some sleep. And here comes the pain. Now the pain is hitting, the anxiety thoughts are hitting. What's going to happen next? Why am I hurting so bad? Something's wrong with me. I think I have cancer. I don't know. Start, you know, look at things up, and then all of a sudden, all these different things show why you could have pain in that area, and then people start to freak out. And then can't sleep. And guess what? If you can't sleep, whether it's because of the pain or for the anxiety, or maybe you're just thinking about a lot of different things at once, and your body cannot rest. If your body can't sleep, then you can't relax your muscles like you should. And if you can't relax your muscles like you should, you can't go into deep enough sleep. The oxygen doesn't get to the muscles and relax your muscles. And so now you have too much tension in your body, and your body can't reset itself. It can't. Okay, like your phone needs to charge up. And when you're sleeping, that's when you need to charge up. Your body needs to charge. Your body needs a break. You need a chance to relax completely and totally. And if you could do that, then that will help restore your body from the pain. Also, the body releases cells to go through and kind of clean up um, things that uh, are bad, like bad cells that can turn into cancer. So there's been a study that showed that if you get less than 5 hours of sleep every night on a consistent basis, it could set you up for cancer. It increases your chance of cancer, and I understand why, because your body needs a chance to go through. Growth hormone is increased during that time, and different hormones uh, and chemicals that the body releases and functions to restore and remove cancer cells, or remove cells, or and oxidants and stressors on the body that could lead to cancer, to lead to heart disease and other bad things. So it's extremely important to get sleep. Okay, now you got pain, then it causes anxiety. Pain and anxiety sometimes causes people to lose sleep. That's part of the cycle. Okay, now you're losing sleep. So next day you have a bad day. You can't you can't process stress well, and so now more stress comes on. And guess what? Now you have more pain building up in the body. More pain, more stress, more, and then you see the cycle. Okay, more the when we don't sleep enough, we mentally don't function as well. Anxiety is easier. It's easier for us to be cranky and irritable, and then sometimes depression starts to happen. If that happens too much, too many times, depression now starts to add to the equation. Now we've got depression. Okay, now depression causes insomnia. It causes people not to be able to function correctly, not to be able to think correctly. The memory starts to go down. These things lead to more pain. Oh, yes, depression causes pain. Depression is one of the main reasons people can have something called CDH, a chronic daily headache. Okay, I've learned that from a neurologist. Depression can cause a chronic daily headache. Oh, by the way, some medications called opioids. Okay, Tylenol, codeine, Norco, hydrocodone, oxycodone, the opioid section, even Suboxone and Butrans. These are all opioids, maybe even Tramadol. I'm not sure because that's a partial opioid, but opioids in general can cause CDH, a chronic daily headache. So just remember that. So that headache can contribute to the pain as well, cause neck tension, and neck tension could cause headaches, and on and on. Vicious cycle. Now, I hope you're starting to see the cycle that I'm talking about. These things play into pain, which can cause chronic pain. I'm going to give you some example of some chronic pain conditions. Okay, arthritis is a big one. um, Chronic pain to injury, chronic pain due to injury or trauma, fibromyalgia. Okay, these are all examples of chronic pain. There's many others I could go on and on. Rheumatoid arthritis. Like I said, previous injuries that cause chronic pain to reoccur. Okay, so we talked about some of those things. Now I want to talk about how to um how to start coming against these different pain cycles. Okay. Also, let me just pause for a moment, and let's talk about what can cause chronic pain or what can also contribute to the pain cycle and cause things to get worse. Let's talk about um, seasons. Okay, with the cold weather, and sometimes with some certain conditions like I want to say fibromyalgia. I want to say uh, what was I about to say? I missed it. Arthritis. Oh my goodness. Arthritis is very common when it rains. The rain and the cold weather makes the pain worse. Some people feel it before the rain actually comes all the way down. It has to do with the barometric atmospheric pressure or something like that. It changes the moisture in the air. Sometimes people can feel that, and it causes the pain to set in the joints. Okay, so coldness causes the muscles to tighten up, and this can also contribute to pain. uh Emotional stress. You're doing well. I'm having a good day. I'm not having a lot of pain, but then all of a sudden something stresses you out, and suddenly, oh my goodness, I've got pain. I'll never forget the time when this was years ago. I was a resident, and I was getting ready to finish up and complete my training. And I had to submit a big project as part of my condition to be able to finish up and graduate from my training program. I had already typed up a lot of it. Okay, I was in the call room, the resident call room, and I said, okay, I'm almost done with this. And then suddenly, I lost it. The computer went out, something happened. I don't know if it unplugged and it wasn't saved. And it came to my realization I had to restart the whole thing all over again. Anyway, I started getting pain right here. And I noticed that on the same area that the pain just starts, the muscle starts to just tighten up. I could just feel it tightening up as the stress just starts to come on my brain, my mind, my realization. Oh my goodness, I gotta type this whole thing all over again. And so the stress. Okay, so I just want you to know, pay attention. I remember being in medical school, and some of the fellow students, I say, yeah, this one, she's like, I got this one area that every time I get stressed, this one area hurts really bad. It's the piriformis, the muscle. She was able to pinpoint exactly, just like me. So sometimes you can know the problem areas of your body when that pain hits, or when the cold weather hits, that area tightens up. Or when I'm driving a lot, this area here starts to tighten up a lot. Okay, so we talked about a little bit about some certain things, common things, practical things that can make the pain worse. Now, let's talk about things that can actually improve pain. So, let's talk about that same point. Um, when you're dealing with, sorry, that's my son. When you're dealing with, okay, I understand that. When you're dealing with coldness or stress, sometimes just putting heat on that area, just put some heat on it, will actually make a big difference. Okay, so moist heat, particularly, is the best way to assist with pain. It really gets into the muscles and it helps. By the way, I almost forgot. Smoking cigarettes. When we smoke cigarettes, it can cause a great deal of muscle tension and muscle spasms. Anxiety, when you can't breathe properly and you're not taking deep enough breaths, guess what? Shallow breathing tightens up those muscles as well. Okay. These are things to watch out for. These are things that to remember. Okay. So, other things, deep breaths. A lot of people say, just take some deep breaths. Well, there's a science to it. When we take deep breaths in and out for at least 3 deep breaths in a row, it helps get rid of that stress and anxiety quickly. But if you're mindful and you take deep breaths and you continue to relax and take those deep breaths from the diaphragm, when you from down in your gut, deep, slow breaths from your stomach, that will also help relax your muscles all around your body. Okay, just completely taking those deep, slow, relaxing breaths. It really does work. And if you have cold fingertips and cold toes, Taking those deep, slow breaths for 5 minutes, relaxing, will actually bring down the coldness and increase the warmth in your fingers and your feet. Okay. All right. Okay. So we talked about practical ways. So, moist heat, deep, slow breaths, identifying that there's a stress and how to identifying the possible reasons why the pain is getting worse. Sometimes just knowing and understanding what's happening helps. Okay. That freaking out. Not, of course, if you're not sure if it's other type of pains that's different from a muscle pain. Sometimes people have gut pain, abdominal pain, stomach pains. Go get seen, go to the doctor, of course. These things are important. I am a physician. I don't know. I forgot to mention that. I am a physician and I'm talking from experience, years of experience. I've been seeing patients since 2002 when I graduated from medical school, became a resident in 2005. I finished up and then went into community health in July of 2005. So it's almost been 20 years, it's been 19 years since I've been seeing patients on a regular basis. But all that to say that I've studied pain quite a bit, and I've experienced it myself. These things they do help. Okay, medications. There's a lot of medications out there. They don't always have to be opioid medication. I'll spend a minute or two talking about different meds. There's Lyrica, which is also known as pregabalin. That's one of the newer nerve medications that I know of. Gabapentin is another one that's been out for years. It used to be, it was made, I think, when they first created gabapentin, it was meant for seizures. I rarely see it for seizures. I see it more used for pain. And so it helps. Cymbalta, by the way, gabapentin and Lyrica, sometimes they do have side effects. All medications, there's a potential for side effects, but most people do pretty good. Lyrica sometimes causes people to have, I think, sleepiness and drowsiness at first. So we start that at night. Same thing with gabapentin. And these are the meds that you have to take kind of like on a consistent basis, you know, every day in order for it to actually set in and work. It works at the brain level and the spinal cord level. I believe what it does is it diminishes the pain signal. So these are things that have to be done. They have to be taken regularly. Um, okay, so there's medicines to break the inflammation off. One of my favorites is peanut oil. It is a natural medication. It is not to take internally in your mouth, but to massage it into the areas that hurt, particularly arthritis type of pains, inflammation type of pain. It helps very well with those joint pains. Arthritis, by the way, massaging the anti-inflammatory. Another one is Voltaren gel. Voltaren gel, also known, I can put it in the chat real quick, also known as diclofenac, um, is the generic, but that is something that you could massage into the joints, and it's an anti-inflammatory. It's like peanut oil and Voltaren gel. They're both like similar to massaging Advil or Aleve, which ibuprofen, a lot of people know what that is, directly into the areas that hurt, directly into the joint, and moving it back and forth in this kind of direction, like moving the knee back and forth, moving the hip back and forth, and just range of motion, moving the shoulder, wherever it hurts that joint. For arthritis, movement is important for arthritis, that passive movement back and forth. Bike riding is really good for knee pain and hip pains. And warming that joint up. It's all about warming the joint up, moving it back and forth. Is and anti-inflammatory topicals or pills is going to help. Omega 6, omega 3. Big fan of cod liver oil. I'll go ahead and put that in. Reason is it's like a superfood. And nowadays they have the capsule forms you can get. I tell people about it. Also, it has vitamin D, which helps with pain, vitamin A, which helps with your vision and eyesight, and omega 3 and omega 6, which helps with joint pain. It helps your brain. It gives you more memory. It helps. your heart, prevent heart attacks, strokes. Oh, it's just superfood. So vitamin D, vitamin A, omega-3, all in one cod liver oil capsules. Try to get that, especially when the sun is not shining. You definitely want to be taking that. Okay. So I deviated a little bit, but these things are all helpful to help inflammation and pain. Sun, oh my goodness. When I had COVID, the first time I had it at the end of 2020, like December 2020, it kind of hit me. And how did it hit me? Well, a lot of this, yeah, cough, yeah, but it hit my muscles and my body was hurting and I had headaches. And so that's how it got me. So by me getting into the sun, when the sun was at its peak, I would just sit outside like a little outdoor swing and I would sit out there in the backyard and just let the sun hit my back and oh it just felt so good. And many people, I tell, when the sun comes out, as long as it's not too hot and it's comfortable, let it hit your muscles, let it hit your skin. It gives you that vitamin D, it gives you that warmth, but it also feels very good and it helps the muscles quite a bit. So getting that natural sunlight is amazing. Okay, so we're talking about ways to break the pain cycle. So these are physical ways to break the pain cycle, but let us not forget the mental part. Remember, in that pain cycle, there comes anxiety, and sometimes it leads to depression. Even if it's only temporary anxiety and depression, or it might lead to, actual strong anxiety and depression. Anyways, you could break that with mental health counseling. Okay, I'm a big fan of mental health counseling. There's something called cognitive behavioral therapy. It has been studied for a long time, many years. It's a type of therapy that the therapist can use, whether it's a psychologist or a licensed clinical social worker or, the marriage and family therapist. There are different types of therapists and different levels of it, or a psychiatrist, what have you. Cognitive behavioral therapy, it's a very specific training that they have that actually helps people with pain. Okay, it's a specific type of therapy. Okay, so what else? So you get your mental health. Some people get mental health therapy in different ways. It could be reading the Bible, which is a wonderful way to help relieve anxiety. There's so many scriptures on anxiety and fear. I think there's one, Second Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. One of my favorites, one of my go-tos. There's many, many, many others. God is saying, do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. So it's a big thing for humans to fear and have anxious. So God has a way of helping us with that. Like I said, the Bible verses are wonderful. Bible studies, prayer meetings. Prayer is a wonderful way to help the psyche, to help relax, to help ward off anxious thoughts and ward off pain. Amazing healing power of prayer. Um, that's the spiritual aspect, and that also helps us, with our thinking. Um, there's now some psychologists that they have live streams on YouTube. So that's another thing that you could do is go on, YouTube and find some ways to get therapy that way. It's amazing. You can, get therapy through support groups. There's a lot of support groups out there to help with chronic pain. So there's just a lot. Some people have family members that know how to help you unpack things and you could talk to and feel comfortable. A lot of medical facilities now, you can call them and they have mental health counseling. There's a lot of hotlines out there for mental health counseling and therapy sessions that they could do, even real quick ones over the phone with you. And so there's just lots and lots of ways to get help with our mental health. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to get a psychiatrist or psychologist. There's other ways to get mental health therapy. Okay, so let's see what else. So we talked about the mind and how to help your thoughts and ward off thoughts. Also, you have control over your thoughts. A lot of people don't realize they actually can control yes, you can control your thoughts. So when those thoughts, I tell people all the time, when the thoughts start to get crazy and you start to circle, and we call it ruminate. They call it ruminate in the psychiatry field. Rumination means you're just thinking about the same thing over and over, and it's a negative thought pattern. You have to stop those thoughts. Just say, no, I'm still alive. I'm still doing well. I'm okay. Everything's gonna be okay. No, it's not as bad as it seems. Stop those thought patterns and start thinking positive things. Start what's good about me, what's good about my situation. Is there anything good? Think about these things. If there be anything that's lovely, of good report, anything positive, think on these things and focus more on those things than what's negative. Okay. All right. So we talked about how to interrupt those thoughts. Um, we talked about, you know, the physical aspect, warming up the muscles, warming up the joints, anti-inflammatories. By the way, ibuprofen, ibuprofen is a wonderful medication, but it's also a very bad medication. Careful with caution. If you have high blood pressure, be extremely careful because ibuprofen can increase the blood pressure and it can cause a kidney problem. Real quick, there was a sports athlete in Florida that I heard that had to have a kidney transplant because he was taking too much ibuprofen. And maybe there was some other things, maybe of high blood pressure as well. I don't know. But I do know that ibuprofen can be hard on the kidneys, blood pressure, and the stomach. It can cause a stomach ulcer. So here's my plan for that. As long as you don't have high blood pressure and as long as you drink a lot of water on days that you're taking ibuprofen to protect the kidneys. And as long as you take the ibuprofen with food, you have to take it with some kind of food or milk or something, not just with water, then you should be safe with ibuprofen. But it does help a lot of different type of pains, including menstrual cramping and pain. Oh, don't let me forget Epsom salt. When you're having a lot of pain in your body, especially you worked a hard day, muscle pain, headache, get into it. If you have a bathtub, get into an Epsom salt bath. So 4 pounds to 6 pounds is like therapy, okay, of Epsom salt. Do that. Try to get into a good hot bath with Epsom salt, and that will totally relax your muscles real quick. Um, I had a neighbor years ago. Her husband had locked us back up real bad. Older gentleman, I think he was maybe in his, I don't know, late 50s, early 60s, I think at that time. And he locked his back so bad he could not go to work and I mean just severe pain. And so she's like, what can I do, what can I do? I said, okay, hot bath, 4 or 5 or 6 pounds of Epsom salt. I think they did 6 pounds. They put it in the hot bath, dissolve the Epsom salt. Epsom salt is wonderful. It's magnesium sulfate. He got into the tub, did the stretches. I said, stretch your back out real good, touch your toes, really do some good stretching. He did that, and a few hours later, he felt so much better. He wanted to go to work. She said, no, no, you need to rest. And I agree. When you have a locked back like that, you do need to rest more. You need to take it easy. Try not to get back into work too quick. Your body needs a chance to reset itself. And it will. And you do some good stretching, you do a good muscle relaxation like an Epsom salt soak. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. Okay. By the way, you could take magnesium. Magnesium supplements is another way to actually help. 4 or 500 milligrams of magnesium oxide is wonderful to help relax the muscles. I also combine it with Tylenol when I have like bad headaches or neck pain, and that actually does work very well. So those are things you could do without taking real strong pain meds. Magnesium oxide is also really good for headaches, but also menstrual cramping as well. Okay, it relaxes the muscles. All right, so we talked about Epsom salt. What else? And sometimes when you have muscle spasms, some people get really bad muscle spasms, and some people prefer cold. Some people prefer moist heat. But just taking some crushed ice, and massaging it into the muscle will also help break a muscle spasm. Taking magnesium regularly will help reduce muscle spasms. Back to the cod liver oil because the vitamin D that helps reduce muscle spasms. And if you smoke cigarettes or around a lot of cigarette smoke, try to get away from that. Clean your environment, clean your lungs out, clean the oxygen coming through your body. Increase deep breaths. These are all things to help reduce muscle spasms and stress on the muscles. Okay, so we spent a lot of time regarding that. Sleep, making sure oh, there, sleep hygiene. Just look up, Google sleep hygiene. There'll be a lot of tips on how to help you sleep. Sleep is extremely important. Making sure your body's getting between six. Some people need 8 or 9 hours. Some people just need 6 hours. But try to, get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep if you can every night. Sleeping between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. These are optimum times, or 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. These are optimum 9 p.m., excuse me, to 5 a.m. These are like really good optimum sleep times for your body. Okay. That time before midnight is good, solid, wonderful, restorative sleep. Real quick, because it's already been 30 minutes. If you have sleep apnea, that means you're stop breathing in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep. You're snoring, and then all of a sudden you just kind of pause and the oxygen levels dip very low. And when that happens, um this can set you up for a lot of problems. Go get tested for sleep apnea if you think you might have it. If you fall asleep early during the day, you sleep good at night, or you think you do, and then the next morning you're tired and exhausted. Your sleep quality is not good. You might have a sleep disorder or sleep apnea. Go get that checked out. Extremely important. Okay. We talked about mattresses. Oh, we'll do another one on sleeping. I'll do another live or another video on different mattress types and pillow types, and we'll talk about that because that's important as well. Um, let's see, it's getting late. I am about to finish up this live. Uh, these are I think I just gave a good overview of ways. I'll summarize real quick. Ways to break the sleep. I mean, ways to break the vicious cycles of pain. So physically, I almost forgot. Exercise is a wonderful way for fibromyalgia and arthritis and things like that. Warm water exercise, getting into a swimming pool and moving the body through the warm water in a pool or jacuzzi. That's extremely helpful as well. Stretching, all of these things are critical for chronic pain. Physical therapy, getting physical therapy, getting a chiropractor, massage therapy. These are all physical ways to help the pain. Um, let's see what else. So that's the physical aspect. The mental aspect, getting mental health. Therapy sessions, cognitive behavioral therapy. These things help the brain, help the mind, help you to process life and process pain. Um, Getting good sleep. We talked a little bit about nutrition, but in general, lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, good healthy food to bring the minerals and things that your body needs. Stay away from excess sugar, processed sugar. Causes more inflammation. I just say it like it lights up those nerves, lights up the pain signals. And so you want to try to minimize processed sugars. A little here and there is okay, especially if you drink a lot of water and eat a lot of fresh fruits around it, but you don't want to make it a lifestyle where you're just always eating processed sugars. You want to have a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables to counteract that. Salads, smoothies, fresh fruit. These are different ways to do that. Fluids. You want to make sure you don't get dehydration also causes the muscles to spaz out. You want to try to make sure you're doing electrolytes, Pedialyte, Gatorade, and water. These are different, coconut water. These are different ways to get that water with some lemon or water with some orange. Squeeze it in your water, drink it. Fresh fruit in your water. Cut up some. This is a good one. Cucumbers, fresh mint leaves, fresh cucumber slices, and lemon slices. Make yourself some spa water and just drink a lot of that. I like tea, green tea, and I don't put much sugar. I might put a little honey in it every once in a while, but most of the time I just like green tea. I like this particular brand, Stash. This is the brand. This has a wonderful taste to it. It's so good. Anyway, so These are things that that help with pain, eating healthy, sleeping good, watch your mental health, do some exercising, moist heat, natural sunlight, superfoods. Um, don't forget prayer. Prayer, faith, these are things that are very helpful. Okay, so you can leave comments later. I know that I'm just getting started. I don't have a lot of people on my live stream. This will be saved and uploaded to the YouTube channel. And you can leave comments when you do see this video, and we will be doing more videos. I'm going to try my best to do a live video every Saturday early in the morning before my day gets kind of cray cray and your day gets crazy. Will we That's my goal. Early Saturday morning. Uh, this is what my goal is, and hopefully you'll be able to join. I might be doing them during the week from time to time as well. Anyways, hopefully you will like the video. If you like it, subscribe so that you can get notices when I'm on live or notices when I upload videos. And this is going to be your health channel. So if you have anything that you want to chat about, just, message me in the chat. I'll be monitoring, and I'll try to bring those topics to you. I'm trying to bring topics that people deal with the most these days. Okay, take care. Love you all to life, and God bless you. Thank you for joining.